The president and Congress square off over the crime bill. How much will be changed? Major League Baseball heads for Capitol Hill. The public doesn't seem to care one way or another. And they care. Are your children safe? In too many centers, careless is a better description.
From NBC News, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. After weeks of mostly polite exchanges, lots of promises to work together for the common good, the president and the new Republican Congress tonight have squared off on one of the defining issues of the day. That's crime and how to deal with it. The new majority wants to change the terms of the president's crime bill, which was passed last year. The president figures this is a good place to make a stand. Here's NBC's Brian Williams.
Surrounded by crime fighters, the president today awarded money for 7,000 new police officers in small towns across the country, while warning the Republicans across town against cuts in the number of cops.
I will oppose any attempt to undermine the capacity of the crime bill to produce the 100,000 police officers that we promised the American people, that you came up here and lobbied for, and that you worked so hard for. We must not do that.
Money for police is just one battle. The other involves a GOP effort to loosen up rules on household searches by police, allowing some evidence seized without a warrant to be used in some federal court cases.
Public is tired of people getting off on technicalities.
The issue riled some Democrats.
We were there when our doors were kicked down. We were there when children were grabbed away from their families, when people were sold into slavery, violated. And so we feel this very deeply.
The desire to out-crime fight one another turned into embarrassment for many Republicans on the House floor last night. They were duped by the Democrats into voting on the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. They defeated it and then learned what they'd done. The Democrats hammered away at the issue today.
Give me the Constitution drawn by the Founding Fathers.
The House has scheduled days of debate on the crime bill, and because the White House has vowed not to retreat on it, a big fight is guaranteed. Brian Williams, NBC News, the White House.
And Congress tonight is not at all happy with President Clinton's latest move on the Major League Baseball strike. After he called both sides to the White House last night and failed to get his own agreement, he tried to get Congress and the public involved. We have two reports tonight, beginning with NBC's Jim Miklashevsky.
With the baseball talks going nowhere, owners packed up early and got out of town. Boston Red Sox owner John Harrington says he'll field replacement players when spring training starts next week.
Well, we have to. You know, there are 30,000 workers across the country involving nearly 200 teams, and those workers want to go to work, and the fans want baseball.
In a continuing effort to break the deadlock, President Clinton today proposed legislation to force Major League owners and players to submit to binding arbitration. If passed by Congress, both sides would have to accept a settlement imposed by a three-member panel of arbitrators.
Okay, and the baseball strike?
But calls to the office of Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole were running 5-1 against congressional intervention in the strike. And in a meeting with President Clinton's mediator, William Ussery, Dole balked at the proposal.
We're very reluctant to have Congress get involved in this. We've been talking about getting government out of things, not into things.
House Speaker Newt Gingrich called it a bad idea.
Certainly if Congress could do for baseball what it has done for delivering the mail. I mean, you'd then have a slow-pitch environment of very few home runs.
Last night, President Clinton was visibly frustrated after 5 hours of talks with the two sides failed to produce results.
The American people are the real losers.
Today, the White House blamed the impasse on greed of both owners and players.
They're both, spitting at each other in public and refusing to get on with the business of trying to resolve their strike.
Officials here insist that President Clinton deserves credit for trying to resolve the dispute. But late tonight, Republicans were already maneuvering to block the legislation intended to end the strike. Jim Miklashevsky, NBC News, the White House.
This is Bob Faw in Washington, where it's hard to believe recent polls suggesting nearly 3 of 5 Americans don't care at all about the baseball mess.
I could care less about baseball.
It's okay. There's no more baseball. That's cool.
Listen to other fans around the country today, and you get the impression that because of the stalemate, the national pastime is past its time.
It's gone on too long. I don't really care anymore, and to tell you the truth, I really don't think the country does either.